Tiff and The Punisher podcast, fighting CPS with their bare mouths, have added a Tuesday night edition, The Stipulation Nation. The CPS tyrant take down the nerd from nowhere, the attitude with the truth to back it up, Becca Garrison. This should make for an amazing lineup of attitude, pizzazz, fun, and downright CPS stomp down. They can't run forever, and when they stop, this posse will be right on their heels. No more kids for cash, and we are kicking some ass. Join us Tuesdays to stipulate with Becca.
Never been a perfect person. I put the cart before the horse. A list of reasons, long as sermons, why I never needed a God. Then I heard his voice, so sweet, it put me on my knees. I'm holding on to hope for dear life, with God driving, and I'm finally free at last. God driving, God driving. In the shadows where justice burns, Tiff and the Punisher rise. Street lights flicker, the city's on fire. Tiff walks the line with a cold desire. Punisher's shadow, the hammer falls hard. No mercy for evil, they're playing their card. Through the alleys of pain and the rivers of blood, they hunt down the guilty, they're the judge and the flood. But every war needs a mind that can see, a voice in the chaos that cuts to the core. Tiff and the Punisher carving the night, punishing sinners beneath the pale light. Becca steps in with that smart-ass grin, brainiac queen, always right from within. She's figuring out the world one fact at a time, calling out the lies with a razor-sharp mind. You think you're clever? Watch me prove you wrong. Becca's in the mix, and the truth marches on. Becca's the spark in the tactical storm. Smart-ass remarks that keep the whole team reformed. Equations and evidence, she's cracking the code, while the Punisher's bullets write the final ode. Tiff holds a line with the fearless command. Together they're unstoppable, a punishing band. Becca won't rest till the puzzle is solved. She's right every time and the problem's resolved. When the world's gone mad and the answers won't bend, she'll dissect the chaos and break it again. Smart-ass brainiac, queer the fight. Tiff and the Punisher on the night. Tiff and the Punisher carving the night, punishing sinners beneath the pale light. think you're clever? Watch me prove you wrong. Becca's in the mix, and the truth marches on. Tiff and The Punisher. Becca's got the answers. Justice never sleeps.
That was weak. What's up, Tiff? Oh my God. Are you on mute with me?
I'm on mute.
There you go. Now you're not. What's going on, Tiff?
I got to watch my phone because our little friend down here in Virginia just had a wellness check and they're trying to snatch those kids by 10 p.m. tonight. And they're not even home.
Well, good. That's better. Because then they got a little surprise coming for them first thing in the morning. So I've spent the day fighting with Google and Microsoft and all of them because somehow my accounts were all, it started yesterday. All my accounts were, I don't know if they were hacked, but they says due to unfamiliar activity, we've seized your accounts or we locked down your accounts and everything. So I couldn't get any of my documents. I had papers that I needed filed today for my own stuff, on top of some help that I'm doing with other people's, and then someone else also that I need to help. And I swear to God that they do this stuff on purpose. I swear that they know that this stuff is going on and they just do this because I've never, ever, in all my years, I've never had Google tell me that I had unfamiliar activities and completely lock my account. It's just been the damnedest thing today. But we make it through. We get through it. We got to get through. But, you know, it's Tuesday. And let's, nothing. It's Tuesday. So today is Becca Day. So let's get her out because I know we got another special guest behind us here. That he's
Tiff and The Punisher podcast, fighting CPS with their bare mouth.
That's not Becca. This is Becca. And I'm Becca right now, too, apparently.
Oh, my.
Becca?
Yeah, hey, Becca. Yeah, hey, Becca.
Hey, it's Becca Day. Everybody's Becca.
Everybody's Becca but Tiff.
Yep, she's Tiff Becca. Becca. What's going on, Becca?
Oh, you know, same old, same old. Still fighting a good fight.
Yeah? Are you winning?
I mean, I'm always winning.
Oh, good, good. That's the attitude to have. We always are winning.
I'm always winning.
How many views are you up to?
400, 300.
Well, it's a lot. I don't know what she said.
375, sorry, 1,000.
All right. Yeah, no, that's good. That's a hell of a lot. That's good. You're getting that out there. So, guys, make sure that you get in touch with her and all of that stuff. But before we even get going any further, because I called someone out last night on misinformation, and what it was, I guess this is a case of misinformation on misinformation. So to get this clarified, we will be bringing out.
Baby snatched on some bogus shit.
Oh, wait a minute.
For every pops, they locked out the crib.
That's not the right one.
Together.
Wait, this one. This one. There we go. All right. That's the one I need. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that pose. See that? There it is. Whoop, there it is.
Well, who are we going to piss off today with our knowledge and information? Listen, It's driving me wild that people take a section of this, don't listen, which is why I encourage everybody, go back to the YouTube channel and watch all our old shows. Why? Because we're not going to start from the very beginning at every show and explain every little thing. Otherwise, we're going to be here for 4 hours. Watch the past shows and put the pieces together as we're ongoing or rolling. Let's not talk, in other words, talk about something that happened in the 80s. Let's turn around and talk about, this year, but you're not getting it to the present. So there was a comment that was made that I had brought up about the Chisholm versus Georgia case that was last night. And I says, listen, this is where it started. This is where it was brought up about immunity and what had to do it. And then there was conversations, and we don't have to look at the evolution, but this is where it started, where it says, do states have immunity? And it comes down to, can they be a party, in a federal case? Yes, they can. We all know they can be a party in a case. Matter of fact, the federal government can sue the state, but it shifted things, and you're going to have to look at the evolution. So let's go through this. One, Article 3, Section 2, which is what our basis of our filing is saying that the federal government wanted to make sure that the state or a group of people couldn't come together and single out an individual or a group of people, including American families. Guys, listen, American families, which is what CPS does. And when you take under Article 3, the solution says that you can make a state a party in a case and challenge them to say, hey, listen, make sure that what you're doing is constitutional and it's legal. In other words, you're not breaking a law. That's what it's for. Now, you have things that are called injunctive relief and monetary damages, right? And everybody goes, well, you can't sue the state. You can sue the state under injunctive relief. In other words, you have a policy or a procedure, and yes, it's in my filings, to make them to stop and or correct those policies, procedures, statutes, or codes that are within the state of saying they're unconstitutional. And they also, you can draw the line also, not are they unconstitutional, but you're financially benefiting, therefore it's fraud, especially when they're receiving federal funding. Okay? Now, right after that, then you have the 11th Amendment. Did the 11th Amendment take and shut down Chisholm? Yes, but listen to what, you missed the point with Justice James Wilson that was on the Supreme Court, argued that the people are the only sovereigns and that if a state violates a person's rights, then the state is just another party. That part didn't go away. That's an anti-tyranny ruling. But the basis of that had to deal with money, private, commercial in that case with Chisholm, that's saying, listen, somebody from South Carolina loaned the state of Georgia money and then Georgia didn't repay it. But it has nothing to do with constitutional rights, nor does it have anything to do with fraud or crimes perpetrated by state or state actors. Okay? This is where, the 11th Amendment comes in. Let's go down the timeline. What comes after that? This is the one they use against a lot of people in pro se filings, especially a federal court, is the Young Doctrine, or what they call the Younger Doctrine, 1908. This has got a very specific thing of saying if you're going to strip them of it, and the way that you can strip it is by saying that a state official attempts to enforce an unconstitutional state law or policy, like entering your home without a warrant for CPS workers, which we know that they take and do, it officially strips them of their official or representative character. Now, remember when I went back and I said that a state cannot commit a felony or a crime under those things and say, hey, I can claim state immunity. The federal government took that burden off of the individual. Okay? So we claim stuff like Whistleblower Act. We file stuff such as the False Claims Act, things like that. Then you are not going after the money. You're simply pointing out, hey, my state's over here committing crimes and unconstitutional acts, receiving federal funds and abusing its own people. Well, I'm looking for injunctive relief, but when I prove the injunctive relief and they've committed that fraud on top of it, I can't go after the monetary damages. Why? Because that falls under what? The False Claims Act and the Whistleblower Act, where you when then the federal government says, we're not going to put it on you to obtain or get those funds back that we paid out. The federal government's going to step in. We'll take care of that. And for you being a whistleblower on that, or False Claims Act, that depending on which ones that you're selecting, they have their own little parameters or little box of recovery. You get then, for example, one of them's 15 to 30%. So if they've been collecting $10 million or $15 million a year, and then you claim that status, and you've pointed out how they've done it, and you've laid it out on your paperwork. See, but the reason that we brought up the fact of the Chisholm is you bring up the fact that states are not divine. They're not immune to unconstitutional things or criminal actions. You've got to look at it within its perspective. And I know this is some very in-depth thing, and it's very layered. This is why we tell people, watch the shows and let's build off of this as we go. But this was the Chisholm case was the very first filing of saying, can states commit crimes? And who does it fall upon to do that? Now, it was addressed in that particular manner in the Supreme Court as saying, but state actors are bound by their contracts and their oath, which is the Constitution. So there's their individual. Now you have your individual capacity. But if they're but once again, if you're going into injunctive relief, you're saying that a judge or magistrate was following unconstitutional policies and procedures or committing unconstitutional acts by going through this. In other words, they know very well, because it's, say, for example, it was brought up in my case, hey, this happened and this happened and this happened, and the judge ignores it. Now you're looking at that judge in their official capacity and their individual capacity, turning around and you abuse your position. Well, it's not so much that, well, they get away with this, but they don't get away with it for violation of their oath. That becomes the criminal part. You got to separate civil from criminal. And Darren, I know, has addressed this 100 times. You're doing stuff and you're revealing things in a civil action to create a criminal action or build a criminal case based off of something civil that was done. And that's what I've been trying to take and explain to people. So when you bring this up and then you guys come at me, don't take a section of what the hell I say and play connect the dots. I'm just like, I'm just going to take this one little section and I'm going to run with it. This is what he said. But did you hear everything else that we were talking about? And under the subject matter, this was an ongoing conversation. And if you missed it, that's why I encourage you. Hey, start back in the beginning on YouTube and start watching this thing. Get that education, because there are things that are progressive all the time, but understanding they can't hide behind their state immunity to be tyrannical. That goes all the way back to our other founding document that gives us our freedoms, which is what? The Declaration of Independence. Now, the first one, the idea is making sure, and we've told you guys this all the time, file in the right jurisdiction, file in the right court, and who has authority to do this and that. But you've got to make sure you do your writings or your filings. You can do what's called preemptive filing, Darren. I believe that's what it's called. Is it not preemptive filing? To where you know they're going to come back at you with some bullshit because you're going to play ping pong for a while. Hey, I want to dismiss it based on this and this and this and that. But you can address it in your initial filing. Say, hey, I already thought of that, and let me give you the answer to that, to where it's not, there's no argument, or why waste the paperwork and prolong the case? Let's just end that argument before it even begins. That's why you can use things like Chisholm and go through the history all the way to the Young Doctrine, and then say, that's why we have the modern this, the modern, and explain this to the court and for the other side. I'm aware of these things, and I'm also aware of why these exist. And I'm coming at you within this whole evolution, the fact that you can't be tyrannical or you can't oppress your people, let alone use state tax money and or federal funds, hence Title IV, to do it. You can't get away with a crime. I'm stripping you of this, but at the same time, the whole state knew about it. Why? Because it's right in state policies and procedures, but that's where you go into the injunctive relief part of your filing and say, the federal court, demand the state to stop this, put an end to it. And then you can ask for things like sanctions. Am I right in saying that also, Darren? You can go for sanction. Here's that sanction. That's before your even lawsuit's done. Sanctions are separate.
Mm-hmm.
Educate yourself on this process. Is our filing complex? Yes. But I'm explaining it like as though you would explain it to an 8-year-old, so the judge and the defendants and the defense can understand this, and then even putting in to say, hey, we're not going to play this game with case law. When there's ever a question, I'm instructing the court to follow constitutional canons. Oh yeah, there's more than just judicial canons, people. Constitutional canons and the argument, they're absolute. There's no interpretation to this way it's
the basis of everything that we're talking about here is here's the thing, and I don't want to tie up too much more of the time here. I wanted to let you get in here and do this, but it's about this case, and here's a little prequel of it. The facts of it is in 1792, Alexander Chisholm attempted to sue the state of Georgia in the U.S. Supreme Court over payments due to him for goods that Robert Farquhar had supplied Georgia during the American Revolutionary War. The defendant, Georgia, refused to appear, claiming that as a sovereign state, it could not be sued without consenting to the lawsuit. So the question here is, can the state citizens sue state governments in federal court? Now here's the conclusion. In a 4-1 decision, the court ruled for the plaintiff, reasoning that Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution abrogated the state's sovereign immunity and granted federal courts the affirmative power to hear disputes between private citizens and states. Thus, the state conduct was subject to the judicial review. Now, this is what they said. The 11th Amendment nullified this. But, there's the but. Justice Iredell dissented, reasoning that under common law, each state was sovereign and could not be sued without consent. This opinion eventually became the law with the passage of the 11th Amendment to the Constitution, which provides that the judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to the extent to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by, here's the kicker that no one pays attention to. I'll start that over. Commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. That means if you are not a citizen of the state that you live in, you cannot sue another state. But if you in fact do live in the state, you can sue them without notification, without permission, without requesting their whatever the hell it is. But that's what it means. So
the ex parte Young doctrine tells you how to do the stripping to prove it. Mm-hmm. Use it against them.
Right. But the biggest thing here, Gunnar, was this part right here that said commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state. So, and I think that's where they were coming at with you using that against Georgia or against Tennessee. You absolutely can use what Chisholm says there because it says right here.
My home state.
Right. It's your home state. So you have every right to use it. And that's it. That's bang. That's that. So I do apologize
for the damn filings.
I do apologize.
No, it's fine. But this is something that we have preached on from the beginning is read within the context. Not only what it says, isn't that right, Tiff? Not only what it says, but what it doesn't say. Tiff's brought that up many times when it comes up to their policies and procedures. And go through it, but it says this, but it doesn't say this. You're reading into it.
Yep.
This is the problem. This is why you guys got to learn how to use this case law and use it properly. And I know Becca's got 1,000 opinions on it too. She's awful quiet back there. But going into these case laws, this is, you've got to read it and read the fact what it says, but also what it doesn't say. Because then when they use the case law against you, you look through and go, you misused that case law. Why? Doesn't say it about this. It says it about this, let alone what else did I say? It was about money, monetary. Well, that's something completely different, and now we've determined the difference between injunctive relief, monetary damages, official capacity, individual. We have further defined this to say you still can't violate the Constitution Constitution, and the state still can't commit crimes. Otherwise, we would have all tyrannical states, which is what we're seeing now within CPS. Am I right or wrong?
You dead on with that one. Dead on with that one.
But they didn't even have jurisdiction because of Article 3, Section 2 says when this is a party. Now let's ask the question, is CPS a state entity? We all know because they come in the state's power. It says the state of Tennessee or the Tennessee Department of Children's Services or whatever it says in Maine or whatever it says in Virginia or whatever it says in Ohio. It's a state entity. Can it be brought to court? Hell yes, it can be brought to court. And when you use that,
that puts it in a whole other jurisdiction also. They're in the wrong case. Yeah. They're in the wrong court. And we say this constantly, but if that is the case, and they are bringing, the state is bringing the charges against you, then this whole thing, every damn person that's ever gone through CPS in their courts, their orders are null and void.
Which is why they're freaking out about the filing. Go ahead, Tiff.
The state cannot be a party.
Right.
Okay, because the state is not a human, it is an entity. The state cannot be a party, period.
Right, so that
means who was injured in this civil case?
Right.
The state wasn't injured, were they?
No.
They were causing the injury.
Right, they were the causers of it, correct. But here's the thing. All of these orders are null and void. They have to be because the state can't be the party. And if it is the party, then the jurisdiction goes to the Supreme Court.
Why do you think the reckoning is building what it's building and everybody's flipping out and the filing, everybody's flipping out and it's going here to DOJ and this, that? Why? Because we did the proper filings. They've escalated. They're doing their damn job. Now all of a sudden everybody's freaking out. Why? Who wrote this? An attorney? No. Why? Because the American Bar Association has got its hands tied and it sure as hell ain't going to do this, but it's filed sui juris. If you know what sui juris means, it means I'm coming on behalf as a member of we the people. When you explain that in your filings, sir, this is not just about me. This is about all of you. Got to understand the power of words, man. But that's all I got to say about that. I think we've cleared the air on that. You guys want more of that? Go watch the show. Go look at the damn filings. You're going to wonder why they're freaking out. Why? Because this will end. It will abolish CPS, not so much in the point of, well, they're not going to have. No, they're going to be shut down because they're unconstitutional. They're going to go bankrupt because they have to repay all that fraudulent funds that they had to take in and pay out. That they got that Title IV money from those cases because they heard all those cases they never had jurisdiction on, which means what? You've got to come back and do this. Those were voluntary services. What we're going to prove, those aren't voluntary services on top of it. These are forced. They're using the courts. They're using the sheriff's department. We've got evidence on it. And if you don't believe me, you can just put in a thing where we're also one of our, they're going to love us because one of our exhibits is taking everything from social media. We've got a crew working on that to assemble tens of thousands, 20 of thousands of an exhibit that has links to every single one of those things you guys out there are posting. Look at what CPS is doing here, breaking the law. Fourth Amendment. Oh, we're going to take you. Look, it's right there, Your Honor. Here's court cases where families are in there doing this and that. And this is, here's the news clipping. We've got people assembling that. Do you want to extend this 6 months? Because we'll go through every single one of them to prove this is not a Tennessee thing. This is a national emergency.
Yep.
And if that's the case, those judges did that. That's a criminal act to imitation of a federal judge by a state judge. Hearing a case, they said they had jurisdiction. It's not just the money. It's not all kids coming home. Yeah, this is why it's called the reckoning. Why? Because you're going to be answering for your evils and your crimes against we the people. Welcome to the reckoning 2026. That's all I got to say. Tiff, it's all yours. Because she's just so damn quiet.
Thanks, Connor. Thank you very much.
But hey, piss some people off today with that knowledge and education because you know what? Now they're scared. This is where we, the people, want them, brother.
He's over here singing, so I have to watch what I do because he's making me laugh.
Well, that's good. You only got that air cleared out, so that's good. All right, Becca, what you got?
So I do want to make a couple comments on the Chisholm theory, though. But so I guess from what I had found in research was that if someone files this and it says like they say like, okay, I live in Ohio, so I'm suing the state of Ohio under Chisholm versus Virginia. Okay, the court now in modern times,
Chisholm versus Georgia.
Chisholm versus Georgia. The court will likely dismiss, though, now only on 11th Amendment grounds, sovereign immunity and lack of jurisdiction, because they follow, modern courts actually now follow Hans, Seminole Tribe, and Alden, not Chisholm's original holding. So they usually avoid it because of the fact that Chisholm was controlling law. They were using it as controlling law instead of the structure claims. So that's why now they use the Ex parte Young in the 1983 and the Monell claims. So essentially we have to essentially go in, like modernization, essentially. I mean, we have to, come to the times of this is how they view it now versus this is how they viewed it back then. So, yeah, they may have viewed it a certain way back then, but does that still stand today? So, I mean, if it was me and nobody's really using it per se anymore, and a lot of people do use it in like constitutional arguments, for like appellate court, they use it for that. But I mean, since the 11th Amendment realistically ratified it, it still is like, it's iffy to use. I mean, realistically, it is, because then like I said, they'll usually throw it out because of the 11th Amendment and sovereign immunity and lack of jurisdiction. So you just have to look at it that way too. You have to, go with is this going to work or isn't going to work? I mean, I want to use something that's going to work. Not necessarily. I don't want to have to figure out if maybe I can chance it on putting this in, and maybe it work. But I mean, that's my whole theory on it. I mean, it was the foundational. Yes, it was used for foundational.
And let's talk about the 11th Amendment for a minute. So I'm so sorry. He is like over here on his little laptop. So the 11th Amendment did give the state sovereign immunity.
Mm-hmm.
It did not give judges, police officers, CPS, all these people immunity. That is a man-made law, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about immunity, we really should be talking only about the state, because the 11th Amendment nowhere says judges, lawyers, CPS, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear CPS workers saying that they have immunity, I laugh in their face. Bitch, you do not have immunity. You are breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Judges do not have immunity if they're breaking the law.
Correct, which is how they use the younger
They
doctrine.
don't understand.
Yeah.
Right. See, because they think under the 11th Amendment, that's what gives them their immunity. That is does not give anybody but the state immunity. And even the state, like here in Virginia, okay, we're a Commonwealth state. Our shit's all fucked up. So here, if you want to sue the state, you actually have to get permission from the Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just file a claim because it's automatically getting dismissed. You didn't get permission from the Attorney General, who claims to represent the people, which is a lie. He represents the state.
Always.
So we need to clarify the 11th Amendment. It does not. The 11th Amendment does not say that judges and lawyers and etc. have immunity. It only says the state.
And I mean, it essentially, I mean, it says because of that simple fact, suing the state actually became difficult. So litigants then developed workarounds, and the workarounds are now the Ex parte Young doctrine and 1983 litigation and Monell claims. But without the 11th Amendment, the modern days constitutional litigation would look different. I mean, definitely it would look different. But that's how they have gotten around it, and that's how we have gotten around it.
And there's something else too, right? Gunner just said something about damages doesn't always mean money. We shouldn't be actually suing people for damages. We need to be suing them for injury. And if
Yeah.
you look up the word injury, it does not mean a physical injury. It's talking about injury in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, like
Injunctive relief
CPS,
and declarational
right,
relief.
right, because they injure the family with the harm that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So because when they see the word damages to them, it's automatically monetary. Oh, these people want money. It's not about the money. You can ask anybody involved in CPS, and they will all tell you, we don't care about the money. We
Mm-hmm.
want our kids home, and we want this shit taken care of and over with.
Mm-hmm. Which is essentially because the courts act in so the courts have they act in equity. I mean, in equity principles, realistically, you have to go in with clean hands. You have to go in with all of these things. And when you're an equity, so equity court is essentially where you ask for injunctions and you ask for declarations and stuff like that. Yeah, they're still committing damages, but you can still get a declaratory relief where it says, hey, this is considered unconstitutional. And go back and be like, this was considered unconstitutional. Sometimes those are even more valuable than any damages claim of monetary relief. Because yeah, I mean, okay, when the kid turns 18 and you want to get monetary relief, and the kid goes in and is like, well, CPS violated my rights back then, they can sue, get millions of dollars. Of course they can, if that attorney can prove that, or whoever can prove that they are the ones that created the damages, because they sure as shit can. But that takes
Well,
on so many.
there's actually a doctor called the Clean Hands Doctor.
Yeah.
And people really should. I hear you, baby. I hear you. People really should read the Clean Hands Doctor, because
Mm-hmm.
trust me, CPS does not have clean hands when they walk
Nope.
through those courtroom doors.
Nope. The clean hands doctrine, you have to go in there with clean hands, with no bad intentions, with all of that. And essentially, if you're trying to sue somebody and you've already fabricated evidence and you don't qualify, that's not a qualification of it. You have to go into this clean. And if you're not, then, well, you just violated that one. Now, good luck enforcing it, because we all know that they don't go in with clean hands.
I actually have. It's so old that I'm scared to open it because I'm afraid the pages are going to fall out. I actually have a law book from 1906.
Oh, it'll be fine. Trust
And
me.
I'm scared to open it.
I have books from like 1870 something, and they still open, and they're still. You'll be all right.
Okay, because I want to read it, but I
Yeah.
mean, when I open it, it's like I'm like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be opening this book.
It's probably just the binding of the book, I would say. But I mean, unless the pages start literally falling off and like they're brittle, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. But I mean, I have some books from like 1870 something, and they still open, and I can still turn the pages without them crumbling beneath my hands. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see what is in there. Is it a Black's Law, or is it like what's the other guy? Darren, help me out here.
I can't remember his
Blackstone,
name,
or is it
but I
no, not Blackstone. Oh God, what is that other guy's name? Starts with a B.
no, I don't know. I can just tell you that it was the. I know I'm saying it wrong, and I tried to find it, but I think it's in my room. I'll bring it out tomorrow. But it's something about the working man's law book, and it's about marriage, parental rights, all kinds of stuff. I did flip through it though. I didn't want it to fall apart. But as soon as I saw it, I bought it. It was like 50 cents.
I know. I've actually went to Goodwill and gotten some good, like, or like the Salvation Army or whatever store, and gotten some good, like, legal books. Like, I was very surprised.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look. Well, now that Becca said it ain't gonna fall apart on me, I'm gonna try and read it tomorrow.
I mean, I got one.
So go ahead, Becca.
I got one from this one. It's actually through the Salvation Army. I got one. It's called Civil Liberties: Opposing Viewpoints, from the Salvation Army store, and it was actually pretty interesting because it went. I mean, it goes into, it goes through every amendment. I'm pretty sure. Should limits be placed on freedom of expression? It even has should church and church and state be separate? Like, I was surprised. It goes into it, and it's just essentially the opposing viewpoints of how these things work, which was interesting. I know that for sure, because I mean, it has hate speech, it has all sorts of stuff in here. Fighting words. Let's see here. This is what it looks like. Hold on. Let's see here. Turn on. Stupid camera. There you go.
Turn on. I thought you were looking at a book.
I was talking to the camera.
Hmm.
If you would look at the screen, you'd know that.
I'm busy.
What's the copyright date?
This one is from, I don't know. This one is from, let's see here. Oh, where's it at? Let's see here. Second page. No. Oh, third page. This is from 1999. This one is.
Oh my.
So, I mean, but it goes in. I mean, it goes into all sorts of stuff.
1999.
Yeah. It's an older book, but I mean, it still gives you.
How is 1999 older?
I said okay because my kids think that I'm like ancient because I was born in the 90s. Okay. Then they think I'm ancient. They're like, you're so, oh my God, I'm not even 40.
Oh my
okay?
God. Then they must think I'm antique.
That's what I said. I'm like, you guys act like I'm older than dirt. You're almost 40. I said, I am not almost 40. I'm like, I am closer to 30 than I am 40. Now stop it.
Oh my.
Holy shoot.
Oh wow. Did you see Alicia says she's got 5 attorneys against her? Girl, good luck. I pray for you.
Like I told her, take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
Another
because
attorney? Jesus Lord.
that means they're scared of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Her and I were talking about it the other day. That was just crazy. She's like, every time she turns around, they're just putting it in for another attorney. She's like, why? I mean, one says he's going on medical leave. The other one says they're going on vacation. Like, really? Like, let's just, drag this out. Why? And that's all they're doing. They're just trying to buy time. Why not? I mean, I'd be trying to buy time too if I had all this against me and the people that I work with. And just so everybody is aware, also doctors are actually more than likely are third-party people. They're third-party contractors. They don't even work for the hospital. Did anybody know that? Did everybody know that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I did. My stepdad was a physician. Yeah, all the doctors have contracts. They don't work for the hospital. They're contracted. The hospitals contract them for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they don't want to stay there or the hospital's done with them, they move on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So when you go to try to sue the hospital and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to sue this doctor, people come to find that they're like, oh, wait, this person doesn't work. I mean, they're contracted, but they're not, they're not actual employees of us. And I thought that was funny because when I started researching and, when Alicia and I was talking about it, I was like, huh? And it was actually in the disclosure for information, to sign off on your information. It says it right there. People would be surprised at what they sign. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and really people need to read that stuff too, right? Even the fine print, because I'm telling you, it even if you rescind your signature, we're going to say autograph, as Osiris would say, um,
They can deny it.
even it, right, even it doesn't matter if they deny it,
Hmm.
even if you need to read, because the assumption in court. Now remember, court is on a presumption and an assumption. They assume that you read it. So anything that you're signing or signing your autograph to or whatever you want to do, you better make sure that you read it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't sign a lot of shit.
Mm-mm.
I'm not signing that. I don't sign anything. I
And
won't even
same.
sign certified mail. I don't care who it's from, unless it comes from my dad, and he'll call me and tell me it's coming. Because I got to be standing at the mailbox.
Wait for me. I need to sign for this. Hold on.
No, he'll call me and literally say, I sent you something certified mail. What time's your mail run? And I'll tell him. He'd be like, you have your ass at that mailbox. Okay.
Yes, Dad. I'll be right on it. Thank you.
Yeah, he thinks I run everything. I don't understand.
Well, it's cute that he still thinks that. He thinks that you're powerful.
Okay. I'm going to put Becca on the phone with him one day. We'll see how cute she thinks he
I love
is.
old people. Old people are my favorite.
Oh, Lord.
I love old people. My dad was old, so I love old people. I was a
Okay,
nurse's
girl.
aide forever. And I
Oh,
love
God
them, and I
bless
know
your
how to
heart.
work. I know how to work with them. Okay, so I've had some mean people. Okay, mean people. Like,
Girl. If you showed up on my dad's property, he would tell you to get off his property. He was going to put a bolt in your ass. Trust me. And he would put a bolt in your behind. I'm telling you.
I'd show up with candy.
He doesn't eat candy. You better show up with a Little Caesars pizza.
Okay, well, I will show up with something to bribe him with. Then, okay, I come bearing pizza. Okay, like here you go. I come bearing pizza. Will you talk to me now? Yeah, like I love old people. My neighbor's 84 years old, and I love that little lady. Love
What
her.
have you done
She's
for her this week?
what have I done for her this week? Brought up her garbage cans, make sure her garbage cans are taken out. I do little things for her. I love her. She's so sweet. She sometimes stresses me out, but I love her. She's so
Well,
cute.
at least she doesn't have to do that. So, how can you sue a doctor that works for a county and say made wrong determination saying person has abused their child for years?
I mean, essentially, they work for the hospital. I mean, not that it was shit. They have an agreement, so they're essentially going to do what? Lie. I mean, you just do a 1983, right?
Well, actually, you can do that too. But you actually have to sue them for malpractice.
Yeah, and
Because
doing that is way
all
harder than you think.
doctors, yeah, and I know it is. Um, but all doctors have to carry their own insurance, just like
Hmm.
police officers have their own insurance, and judges too. Everybody's got insurance, because they know that they can have liability issues, and that's what their insurance is for.
Hmm.
Um, the hardest thing is, if without another few doctors actually stating
Confirming. Yep.
right that
You have to get a
they
second opinion. Yeah.
misdiagnosed it, it's very hard to sue a hospital and a doctor.
Very.
Yeah, and by the time you get done suing them, your lawyer is going to have all your money anyway.
Yep. You'll get a receipt.
Yeah, because it takes years to sue them.
Yep. Sure does.
Looks like your favorite fan finally fell asleep over here.
You wore him down.
No, the computer wore him down. He was singing with it.
That's funny as hell. He's getting to be a little old man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so lawsuits aren't all they are cracked up to be. Everybody makes them out to sound like they're easy, but
And they can take forever. They can hold you in litigation forever.
Mhm. Like you said, those hospitals will hold you in there for 100 years. They'll wear you down.
Yes, they will.
Mhm. And I bet they stipulate with the other lawyers and say how much money
Mm-hmm.
you have. And I bet you they
Mhm.
wear down those funds until they can't do it anymore, you know?
Mother effer. Here we go. Wait. Can you
Yeah,
guys see me?
it's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Why
making
do
sure
you
because
think
my
you're invisible?
not today. Leave me alone. I put my
I don't
invisibility
know.
cloak on.
I don't
The
know if you
computer
ever see the
froze.
Medea movies, but she sat on the steps
Oh
and
yes,
acted like she was invisible. She said, "Oh, y'all can still see me."
I love Medea. I love Medea. I will watch
Mhm.
them
I
over
do
and over. I
too.
think I drive my husband nuts because I'll be putting them on and he'll be like, "We've already." I don't care. I want to watch it. I want to laugh. I want to
I
laugh
hear
my
you.
ass off.
Yeah, I hear you. Derek, what were you just eating? You look good.
You know what I have.
Ice
Ice
cream.
cream. See,
Yep,
not
Oh
your
I've been
my.
saying that this whole time. I had to jump into it. Um, well, when the hospital lied to a person saying their child wasn't at the hospital when he was there,
nothing.
it was being scanned, etc. So, what avenues can we rate that's first? Can we take this first?
That's fast. None. Okay, no avenue is
Oh,
fast.
sorry.
No
No.
avenue is essentially fast. They're all slow. That's how they operate.
Mhm.
And I want people to remember one thing. I don't care if it's civil, criminal, changing a law, step, whatever. The wheels of justice turn so slow.
Mhm.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Because you want it right now, but they don't care. They're not right now. We have processes, we have procedures we have to go through, we have to do.
I'll tell you what, it's fast as hell when you're losing.
Right.
Well,
I mean, that's
yeah,
probably by the time they are fast.
You're fast as hell. That's just like, boom.
Yep.
like
Straight down the
like the
drain you go.
road runner.
Yeah. Yep. All of a sudden you're in jail and you're like, what the fuck happened? You know?
Like I just was out here yelling. I don't know what happened. I was just yelling. And here I am in handcuffs. Could you put a CPS worker under citizen's arrest? I wouldn't suggest it. I would
You
not
can
Well,
suggest.
actually put anybody. My dad, when all that shit happened with George Floyd again, my dad believes that I run this country. Okay, so he's like, why the hell didn't anybody stop them? They could have all made a citizen's arrest. And I said, who the hell is going to make a citizen's arrest against a police officer?
Right?
But yeah, citizen's arrest is real and you can do it. And my dad even said a judge can be put under a citizen's arrest. So
I wouldn't suggest it. It's not. It's
yeah, it's very hard to prove.
you better know the law 100% and you just better no. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. Oh, I can just arrest this person.
No,
You
no.
no, that's not how that works. You have to know the law the exact law they violated, the statute, the whatever. So that way, when either police come, they know what you can't. If you don't have this, if you don't have the information to back it up, don't attempt it. Just don't.
Yeah, that's a good
you got to
point.
verify the crime. You got to state your intentions. You have to use
Mhm.
only reasonable force. You have to contact law enforcement immediately.
And then if you're wrong, then they can get you for
Yeah, you're
falsifying a police report.
Yeah, you get huge civil liabilities if you are wrong about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, I'm a brave person.
We know.
And trust me, I would
You're the
love
president.
to put people under citizen's arrest, but I have never done it because I know it is a liability. And if
Mhm.
you are wrong, you could lose everything.
Mhm.
I've never done it.
Nope.
I thought about it.
You can't search them or their persons because you're not a police officer. You can't do that. You have to know you can barely contain them until law enforcement comes. But you can't like put them in a basement, or you can't do anything like that. You have to just keep them at minimal minimal containment.
You're done.
You have to label them their exact criminal offense that they've initiated, and you have to be a witness to it.
What would a person do then do file it again? And what if
So
the
that's
court-
okay. So let's put it in simpler terms.
Don't
If
do it.
you're, listen,
I just said don't do it.
don't like do this, but if you are shoplifting, I don't suggest it, but if you are shoplifting, okay, the safest place for you is in the store. The safest place for you is in the store, not walking out the front door.
Yeah, because there's a whole nother world outside.
Mhm.
Right. So that's
They
what
can't
I'm
touch
saying
you in
is
the store.
that's sort of like citizen's arrest. Don't do it unless you're sure, because let me tell you, if they stop you, and they have to be sure that you're stealing, because if not, you can sue them.
Mhm.
So the same thing goes for a citizen's arrest. You have to be spot on, and you better make damn sure you know what you're doing, or you can be sued.
Mhm. Yep.
And you're right, Becca. Probably even criminal charges for filing a false police report.
Mhm. Yep. Like
Oh, well,
people think that's a joke. I am anti-jail. Okay, I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't like it. It's not fun. So
Girl, that shit is kindergarten.
no,
Okay.
I don't like it. I yeah. Our jail is horrible. It's nasty. It's old. It's like ugh.
Okay, Sergeant, so
Jail is not my favorite.
citizen's arrest. What actually is
Darren, everything you want to
So citizens can make an arrest in the absence of a police officer in certain situations. So if a crime has been committed, it has been indictable or either way offence, so the more serious types of crimes, as I said, a police officer is not present, otherwise they would make the arrest. And it has to be at the time of the offence being committed or immediately afterwards. So citizens arrest doesn't cover somebody you think is about to commit an offence.
So what would the actual protocol be when making a citizen's arrest?
So you need to tell the person that they're under arrest, what for and why. So there are 4 reasons why you may use a citizen's arrest. Number 1 is to prevent them from causing injury to somebody else, to prevent them from suffering a physical injury, to prevent them from causing loss or damage to property, or to prevent them from making off before the police come to deal with them.
Okay. So obviously if a security professional is thinking about making a citizen's arrest or is about to make a citizen's arrest, what should they have in the back of the mind, be like, okay, this is the right way to do it. This is what the police are looking for.
So it's something that's nice and clear and something that's safe as well, because you're preventing that person from leaving. They may not want that to happen, but just be very clear in your communications, be firm and explain that the police have been called and will be coming to deal with them.
Yeah, I think the thing as well is to tell them why it's happening.
Yep, absolutely. And then the police will come, you explain to the officers what has happened, and then they will take things from there. They may review things and then see how you go from there.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times as well when people have made a citizen's arrest and they've kind of locked somebody in a room or something like that. Is that okay?
It's not recommended to leave alone. What you should do is maim them all the time so you can monitor them, make sure that they are safe and also that you are safe, that they're not doing anything dangerous. Just keep an eye on them and that they're supervised until the police come.
Yeah. And now there's a big difference between a citizen's arrest and a way a police officer would actually arrest someone. So let's start with the citizen's arrest. Let's go through a little demonstration of how someone would go about that.
So if I'm a security supervisor and I think that you have assaulted somebody in my club because I've seen it, then I would say to you, sir, you've just hit that person. I think you're responsible for causing them an injury. The police are on their way, but I'm worried that you're going to leave, so I'm making a citizen's arrest. You need to stay with me now until the police come. And the reason for that is that I think that you've caused injury to that person, and I want to be sure that you stay here until the police come and deal with you.
And now if I was to resist or be like, no way, I'm out of here, what could you do?
You've got powers to use reasonable force then to detain that person there. So yeah, so you have to
you
not
don't.
put
That's a
yourself
lie.
at
She's
risk,
lying.
but you can
Turn
take
this video
reasonable steps
off.
to keep them there until the police come. Because it's going to be something more serious, because otherwise you would not be exercising this power. It is quite unusual, but it does exist. It is there to be used if you need it.
Yeah, and you mentioned there reasonable force. Now, reasonable force we have covered quite a lot. It's constantly throughout your security guard training. But in the eyes of the police, what is reasonable force?
The reasonable force it's got to be proportionate, it's got to be reasonable, you've got to be held accountable to it, and it has to be necessary. But the reasonableness test can be different for you or for me, and the circumstances will be different. So you and I may find ourselves in almost the same situation, but reasonable force for me is going to be a bit different. The threshold is going to be a bit higher because of my gender, my age, my stature, my physical capability, so that can change. The reasonableness test will then be decided whether it's proportionate or reasonable or not by the magistrates or the judge in a court of law.
Okay, so the main points there for a citizen's arrest is, firstly, call the police. Secondly, always be clear, tell them why you're doing it. And you can also use reasonable force, but it has to be proportionate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a citizen's arrest. What's the main difference between that and a police officer arresting someone?
So a police officer can arrest for all offences, so even the lower level summary only offences, and we can also arrest for a crime that has not yet happened. So there is a load of different legislation that allows us to arrest for offences that are about to happen. We also have to give the police caution when we arrest somebody, to inform them what their rights are. It's quite important. And we also have a wider necessity test. So the reason why somebody's being arrested, so that can include what we've mentioned before about the citizen's arrest, but also we have for obstructing the highway, for example, or for a prompt and effective investigation by means of recorded interview or other ways of further investigating the offence.
Okay, and finally, going back to citizen's arrest, one question we do get asked quite a lot is male on male or female on female when it comes to arresting. So can a man do a citizen's arrest on a woman? Vice versa.
Yes, absolutely, you can. Your powers are not specific to your gender or the other person's gender or gender identity, but you do have to have certain considerations around what you do with that person. So thinking about how you position yourself, where you're going to put yourself. So for example, if you are a male and you have performed a citizen's arrest on a female, it would be wise to have a chaperone with you, at the very least have CCTV or body cam, just to make sure that you are kept safe and from any malicious allegations that may be made.
Well, thank you very much. Citizen's arrest it's quite a tricky topic to cover, so having someone with your knowledge and expertise is fantastic. Now, I hope you found this video useful, and please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification for more security skills videos.
Well, there you go.
I don't find that useful because we're in the fucking United States.
Right, I was getting ready to say the same thing. I think that was Canada.
No, that was
Yeah.
London, but it is
Oh.
the same. It's the same. It's the same exact same thing. So
And it's wrong.
Well,
look it up.
I don't suggest it. I just don't suggest it. I really don't. I mean, Darren tried it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's really
definitely
good.
wrong. And it's wrong.
And they didn't like it.
No, they don't. I don't recognize. I don't unless you want a boot to the head or some extended stay in a quiet place that's no windows or doors or running water or a toilet. But I mean, other than that, go for it. Yep.
Why would you play that? Why would you play that?
It's okay.
Becky, go look up the rules of citizens arrest in the United States.
I
and tell me how
did.
and they don't differ at all.
What?
They don't differ at all.
From what?
London's, the ones that we just watched, they're the same ones as
Okay, a
United States.
private citizen usually may only arrest for a felony committed in the presence or a felony.
Nope, that's
that
wrong.
really-
That's only in certain states. Only in certain
Will you
states.
shut up? Well, yeah, we
I
apply
looked
to
up. Hey, I didn't look at ChatGPT. I looked up the rules and registrations of the law dictionaries.
Well, I'm saying that
ChatGPT is not always right.
you didn't fucking let me finish.
I didn't have to.
Well, then shut your mouth and let me finish.
Okay, it's time to end the
Yeah.
show, guys.
Hey, Tiff. Hey, Tiff. Catch everybody tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hey. Early March, the flames. Oh. Hey. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Early March, the flames went high on Riley's run that night. Town rolled up like stormtroopers, stole the scene without a fight. No notice, no hearing, 17, 28, 51, they ignored. Secured my house like it was theirs, then left the damn door open for the horde. Rain came down, freestyle cycle, basement full of water in the dead dog too. While I'm stuck in the 10 tax 12 with 18 cats and a broken back, what would you do? Berwick burned us once, then they burned us twice. Violated every code, every statute, every right. 2 days for 20 years is cruel and unusual. We're coming for every dollar, every liar, every official. You had one job, protect and serve Nazis and destroy. Now the whole damn town's gonna hear this outlaw noise. Capella Wilson, town plant. Y'all wearing badges like a gang. Arrested me on my own land while I tried to save my thing. 88 reasonable accommodation. You left and walked away. Daring Gway with the torn rotator. Missing meniscus. Can't even stand all day. 4 requests, demand letters. 0 answers. Total stonewall. Town managers let them March 26 for straight up legal malpractice, y'all. Berwick burned us once and they burned us twice. 14th Amendment shredded, 4th Amendment sacrifice. Money liability on the policies you hide. We're flipping every code section till the truth can't be denied. Judge Walker said state process, or the state process got hijacked. You never posted the dangerous building order, never held the hearing facts. We're pro-C warriors, but the Constitution don't care about your games. We're taking this federal, naming names and lighting up your shame. You burned us once, try to burn us twice, but this fire in our belly's gonna light up the sky. Compensatory, punitive attorney fees on high. Every violated statute is another reason why we're not backing down. This is personal, this is war. Berwick, Maine, your days of breaking the law. Gun 17 2851 2857. You're going down. Way down and we're still standing.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?